What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sideline Summit. I'm Antonio Perez, joined as always by Danny Codisi, UPenn's finest. Chris is on the way. Again, just
help is on the way.
Yeah, help is on the way. Do not worry. He will be here. We will be previewing Week 12 in the NFL. We have plenty of good games to talk about, even some games that aren't necessarily good. Danny's Steelers have a potential trap game, Thursday night. We're recording this on Wednesday, so you see this Thursday morning, So, but we'll be giving you the Week 12 preview, hots and locks as always. And before we get into it, if you're watching this on YouTube, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. If you're watching this on audio platforms, please leave a like, 5-star review, download the episode, comment if your platform allows for it. But none of that can get started without Summits and Plummets.
Yeah, I'll kick it off. I think it's pretty simple. I've been on the hottest of hot streaks with sports betting. It's so I hit parlay after parlay after parlay. It's getting to a point where I think I should start a Discord and start selling my picks.
The moment you start doing that is the moment you stop hitting.
That's good.
Don't,
because then
people are going to stop buying your pick. I mean, you'll get quick cash. People will buy your
cash. People buy the picks.
Yeah, for like a little bit, but
yeah.
I can say I'm witnessing the hot streak firsthand.
I'm on a Linsanity run, as they say.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Because this dude's gonna be brought back down to earth in like a week. But hopefully not. Hopefully not. I would never wish my friend to. Nah. Yeah, that's gonna go on forever. My king.
We'll talk more about that later. Probably next week when we get our NBA weekly. NBA bi-weekly for now.
Yeah, but okay. Plummet though.
Oh yeah, the plummet is all good things must come to an end. The Cavs win streak ended. Call it a plummet. I like seeing greatness. I like seeing cool things. Nonetheless, I don't think it's that much of a plummet. I just think it's seeing a long win streak end is definitely it sucks. As like a fan of the sport.
Totally get it.
I mean, for you though, your that probably would be your summit. Like you ended a 15-game win, regular game on a Tuesday night.
It's just a regular game. Like it's really just a regular game. But I do have to say,
I don't know, dude. The Celtics were playing like it was their Game 7 in the NBA Finals.
Neemias Queta got like 25 minutes of game time. We were not playing hard. I promise you.
No. I'm not saying that they were coaching like they're playing like they were playing hard.
Not really. I mean, like, yeah, they played how they knew every single game, but the paint defense was atrocious. I know we're a 3-point shooting team, but the paint attack wasn't very good. And a lot of people point to like they were like, oh, once the Celtics cooled off, the Cavs start to come back. I'm like, I promise you, it's not. Like, that is true, but it's not the direct reason. The reason they started to come back in the game is because we put Neemias Queta in the game because we didn't have Luke Cornett for the game, and we obviously don't have Kristaps Porzingis. So it's more of like he can't space the floor, hence we can't shoot as well. So, like, yeah, you're right, but it's a little deeper than them just not hitting shots. So,
I think, Al Horford's, like, unreal.
Ageless wonder. Like, you know how people are like, we should talk about Chris Paul's longevity more because, like, yeah, what LeBron's doing is crazy, but, like, what Chris Paul is doing is also crazy. Let's talk about Al Horford. I mean, this guy's pushing 40, Dominican family, man. And random Tuesday drops 20 points. 20 points, like 6 threes. Good defense. Scoring all types of ways. He was scoring on baby hooks, too. Haven't seen that in a minute. He got a block, recovered the rebound, and then like started to push the break himself. I'm like, yeah, dude, I love this team. We have our 38-year-old Dominican family man center pushing the break. Like, it's ridiculous, man.
Oh, I found a real plummet. My stepdad was Stephon Castle 20 points away. So if he had 20, he had 10. That was the only leg that hit. It would have been $1.50 to like 10K.
I can't even say I feel bad for him, bro. Like,
dude,
why'd you put Stephon Castle 20 points, man? That's hilarious.
But
I mean, that is pretty crazy.
He missed like 3 or 4 threes. Like, Like, he was really inefficient. He had the volume, especially with Wemby being out.
Well,
I don't hate that bet with Wemby being out. You don't know who the volume's going to. It happened to go to
it's
Harrison
going.
Barnes.
Yeah, I would say it's going to the vets and like Keldon Johnson and Chris Paul. It's not going to Stephon Castle. His development isn't that prioritized over there.
Man, Keldon Johnson's shot is one of
Especially
the most
especially on NBA Cup
ugliest
night.
things.
Yeah, especially on an NBA Cup night. Those games mean ever so much more. But real Summit though, um, I don't know, man. I guess mine is that like Thanksgiving's around the corner, and that might be my one for like the next 3 episodes. But
The next three.
not
Bro's excited
serious.
to play football for the first time in a year.
In about not a year. I played a little bit in the summer. Uh, my friend he needed some guys for a league, so I popped out there. They weren't really good, but
I'm
not
excited
that
to play
like
football for the
yeah,
first
like the
time.
people I'm playing with are like fine. Um, and the way we play, the rules are bent a certain way to where like we're kind of all on even footing. But those are my guys, so like I'm willing to play at a slightly lower level. Even though I mean I don't be dominating them. I wouldn't put it that way. But yeah, Thanksgiving's around the corner. Means family time, football
Daniel
time.
Jones QB1. He got demoted. Danny Dimes. I'm coming out there.
Yeah, that's my plummet actually. Thank you, Daniel Jones, for your last 6 years of service of free wins. You'll never be forgotten, my
Eli
man.
Manning was a free win for the Eagles too.
Not always, not
No, no,
always.
no.
No,
End of his career. End of his career.
oh, end of his career, of course. But not Daniel Jones. I think has beaten us once. He beat us twice in
He's
his.
probably beaten
No, he's beaten us
multiple
once.
teams
He's only beaten
twice.
us once. Last year when we lost that Week 18 game, that was I think that was Tyrod. It was Tyrod or DeVito, but we got destroyed. Just know that. But it wasn't him. The only time he beat the Eagles was the 2020 season where Carson Wentz was legit dishing out 2 turnovers a game. So like if he lost, he should have actually went 2-0 that year, but he also fell on his face on the 70-yard run. And then the
Tommy
Eagles,
DeVito.
yeah. So Tommy DeVito, shout out to you, man. But I know you're gonna give us a little bit more trouble than
Man, it's week
Danny Dimes
18.
did.
He's gonna be playing Kenny Pickett, Tommy DeVito, week 18 ball.
This is exactly what it's all about, to be entirely honest with you. This is really what our fathers, what our great founding fathers envisioned the game of American football. They say, yeah, we're going to have some country white kid from Jersey, and we're going to have an Italian mafia boss.
From
And
North
this is
Jersey.
from North Jersey. Yep, it's just the whole aspect of football is truly just a battle of North and South Jersey.
Yeah. I
And
could get
now
down
I'm
with
not
that.
from Jersey. I'm not going to get in on this debate, but I don't know who represents quote Central Jersey if it exists. I don't know if it exists. I'm not
I'm
from
told it
there. I'm
doesn't
not getting in
exist.
that. I'm not getting in. What'd you say?
I'm told it doesn't exist.
I've been told it does. I've been told it does. I've been told it doesn't. I'm not gonna get in between there. All I'm saying is that week 18, the Eagles and Giants will be represent. There's a North Jersey represent and a South Jersey represent. I don't know where the Central Jersey represent. Maybe because it's not a thing. On every single episode, you will see me wearing some kind of hat, whether it's a snapback, whether it's a dad style hat. I always got to have something to complete the outfit. And the only place where I get my hats is lids.com. Lids.com has so many different brands, and of course, they have a bunch of different styles. Like I just said, it could be dad hat, snapback, it could be fitted, it could be Velcro back. Whatever you want, they got it. And with the NFL season coming up, I know you're going to want to rock and represent your favorite squad. Me personally, I'm a big Eagles guy, and I love this 47 brand throwback hat that I got from lids.com. Or if you're more of a snapback guy, I also got this NBA champions Boston Celtics new era cap from lids.com as well. If you like either of those hats and you feel like you want one to represent your squad, click the link in the description below. Whether it's new era or 47, both links will take you right to lids.com. And the best thing about Lids, they always have some type of deal going on their website. So make sure you click that link and check out any deals they got going on at lids.com. Or maybe it's just because there's only 2 quarterbacks that can share the field, of course. But enough about the week 18 preview. We have to talk about the week. We have to talk about the week 12 preview, which is
Yeah.
um.
I guess
I
we can
mean,
kick
we
it off with
yeah,
the Thursday night game,
yeah, yeah, might as
which
well.
is
I mean, how long has it been since the Steelers? Not saying the Steelers have been a bad team for the past couple of years. The Steelers are always going to be in it. They're always going to be hard nosed. But when was the last time where you were like, this could be a trap game? Like for us, like the Steelers are usually not the trap, but it's like, oh, the Steelers, like we don't want to play them. It's in Cleveland, and Jameis has been. I don't want to say. I don't know if a tear is the word, but between his 3 starts and some change,
he's
he's
been
already
James
up to
Winston.
1,000 passing yards.
He's been James Winston. What do you mean?
Yeah. So I guess my question to you is how do you think the Steelers will treat a quarterback like Jameis? Do they run the typical disguises, let him read something that isn't there, and then hope for, his usual turnover prone self to pop out?
I want to start this by saying this: the Steelers have never won a road divisional Thursday night football game ever. They're 0-7 all time and 0-5 under Mike Tomlin. Tomlin is 2-8 on the road on Thursday night football.
Okay, I guess combination of on the road, short week, maybe not as much prep time. But honestly, that could be for like anybody.
This is probably
I'm,
for a lot of people, but what I will say
yeah,
is this: um, I think he breaks his schedule this week. I think the Browns are like Nick Chubb is 3 weeks back playing football. Coming off an ACL tear myself, I know that when you get cleared, you're not really cleared. You get cleared, you're like you're not yourself yet. You're not 100%. You're not running out there sprinting at full speed. You can go out there and play, but you're not yourself until a few months. Like you need at least a few months under your feet.
yeah, no, definitely, definitely.
So combination of Nick Chubb, contrary to many people, let's look at the teams that Jameis Winston has beat. Right,
So
he
I
beat.
don't know if he's beat
I mean,
anyone.
as I'm saying, they beat the Ravens. Um,
Oh, they did do that. Yup, in
they
Jameis's
beat the
first start, they
Ravens,
did do that. That's
but then
crazy.
he's put up kind of decent game against the Ravens defense, which is not good this year.
Yeah,
He had a good
and
game.
they get stomped by the Chargers.
Stomped by the Chargers, good defense. Saints defense, not that good.
Saints defense not that good, and he put up the numbers to make it seem like nearly 400 yards, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. Um, but
Yeah.
the points weren't there. So
So that's what it comes down to. I think the Steelers are more built out of those three teams that we've seen. I think the Steelers are most built like the Chargers,
yeah,
and especially with the pass rush duo on the edge, the solid linebacker play, kind of iffy on the secondary, but like they have good star safety. They're built almost exactly like the Chargers. Like, if we to be honest, and I think the Steelers can come in and just replicate what the Chargers did. Great head coach, great team, run the ball, power, take Myles Garrett out of run away from Myles Garrett. They don't have another edge. They got rid of Za'Darius Smith. I think the Steelers should win in dominating fashion, but it's going to be an AFC North football game.
yeah, absolutely. And I just kind of want to see Russell Wilson get back on track. Through his first couple starts, offense was looking amazing. And then they run into a bad Ravens defense. Now, granted, I'll give them the pass of like division game, but the offense was rough. I mean, you get quick points off of ultra rare Derrick Henry fumble, so you're already in good field position. And yeah, they were building drives to get into field goal range, which I gave them their credit for. I just want to see them get back to finishing drives, getting back to putting the ball in the end zone. Getting back to like executing the long ball with George Pickens. Hopefully, Mike Williams can get some more reps in this week.
Yeah,
Because
I do think
Denzel Ward.
we'll wind up seeing a really well versed package of Justin Fields in the red zone this week.
Yeah, and what's funny is like that last play where he like slides like a yard before it. It's just like, man, like I know as yourself you want to protect, like you're a quarterback, you got to protect yourself. But even if you just dove forward, you would have got it. But that was interesting to see. It was like he kind of came in the game, and as you got to respect the read option. So, and now because you're seeing him less, it's like you can't be like, oh, he's on the field, it's automatically going to him. Then you have Najee Harris running up the sideline, 20 yards touchdown. So, yeah, I definitely would like to see Justin Fields involved, not in a gadget way. I don't need Justin Fields catching passes. That's not what I'm saying. Just
Yeah,
like
if you want to
in a
give him,
quarterback running way, in a wildcat way, not like Taysom
I,
Hill.
I would love to run a little quote unquote Heisman package. It's not a Heisman package because then no one won the Heisman. Call it the light skin quarterback package. I don't know.
What of Harris?
Just
What?
you got Fields, Harris, and Russ out there.
Yeah, that wouldn't have any nickname of a package, but
I wouldn't have any nickname, but oh my gosh, if I'm
I'm afraid Russ
pitch
doesn't have the
optioning,
legs to strike any true fear on that. So
he could just he doesn't need the legs. Just pitch or give to Najee or give to Fields on the pitch.
yeah, I guess you were using Fields as another, I guess, running back in that
I
situation.
guess the thing is this, right? Like, is the prophecy coming true of everyone being like Fields is just a running back? I mean, he can throw the
Maybe
ball.
he's a kick
He's like,
returner too, allegedly.
dude, I would experiment with him a kick returning right now. Like
I
you
would not.
if I'm the Steelers, I want to get everything out of Justin Fields that I can get. And
Yeah, but
like
as good as the team is, it's just like his development right now is just it's not that important. Or like
that's fair.
needing the athlete that he is with the athletes you already have, it's just not that important. Plus, Russ is still a little older. You kind of want your backup quarterback to be in some pretty good shape.
I agree.
Yeah.
I can down with that.
So yeah, I agree. I expect the Steelers to win this one pretty easily. I don't think Mike Tomlin's one for traps. So heading into the Sunday slate, a game that sparks my interest is the 5-6 Colts, 9-1 Lions. Now, of course, I'm just going to start by prefacing I think the Lions are going to win, but you're going to have a guy. They're facing a quarterback, Anthony Richardson, who's coming off probably his best game as a pro, at least throwing the ball wise, and he still had 2 touchdowns on the ground. Granted, but you have Terrion Arnold, Brian Branch. This secondary has the names and they've been good in coverage. I wonder are they going to get to Richardson? Can they get him flustered? Can they get him back to what usually is his inaccurate ways? And they'll probably need to because the Colts love to design up these intermediate and deep in-breaking routes and sideline shots that Richardson loves to target. Last week, if you look at his pass chart, like a good bulk of it is deep over the middle of the field. The question also is for Richardson, that's Brian Branch there. That's not this undisciplined Chiefs or Jets defense that we've seen over the past couple of weeks. Like Brian Branch has been arguably the best safety in football this year. So
Yeah,
I'm interested
he's
to
awesome.
see how will they guard Richardson and how will Richardson attack Brian Branch, Arnold, and the rest of this group. I'm also ecstatic to see Josh Downs play. He's really just been like stacking the good games, and I think we're starting to see that he is separating himself as the wide receiver one in Indianapolis, and maybe Alec Pierce is showing he might be the wide receiver two. They have like a little bit of a Packers-esque thing going on over there, where it's
Except
like any guy
they're
could
much
pop out
worse.
any week, but you kind of know you got that. Yeah, definitely worse for sure, but like any guy could pop out any given week, be the guy. You got a strong run game, Josh Jacobs to Jonathan Taylor. You have the unorthodox quarterbacks of Love and Richardson, which Richardson is a little bit more unorthodox, but Love still hits, the fadeaways, the sidearms, the back foots, and all that. And they both
Yeah.
they both turn the ball over a lot. Yeah,
I
what
do
do
want
you?
to say,
Yeah, go ahead.
I think this week 12 is what I call the old friend or foe matchups. Just looking at a few, like Eagles Rams is like Carson Wentz ACL game. You got Like,
you're so far removed from that game.
I know. Steelers Browns is like friend or foe. Chargers Ravens is like that's Lamar got knocked out of the playoffs the first year. It's like I feel like a
I
lot.
think.
49ers Packers like I feel
Well,
like there's just a lot of dynamics going on this week.
I feel like you could do that for. Okay. I feel like I can give you like a good memory for like every single one of these teams. Chiefs
Not
Panthers
Chiefs
back in
Panthers.
20. Yeah, back in 2012, they played. Whoever lost got the first overall pick. Yep.
That's
Romeo
a deep.
Cornell. Romeo Colonel got fired after he lost to the Panthers. The Cam Newton, like second year Cam Newton led Panthers were like 2 or 3 and something. Like they were really bad. Like
Bucks Giants just feels like
Bucks Giants, Daniel Jones, his first career start and probably the best game of his career, 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks against the Bucks.
I'm thinking more about like the Barber twins, but
Oh, well, that too, I guess. But we will remember Danny Dimes' only one and only masterclass. Um,
yeah,
but no, I definitely get what you mean. But I also feel like you can just find up anything between any two teams.
I guess
Like, I
that's
mean,
fair.
for Monday, I'm surprised you even say that's a hardball bowl. Who would have thought we'd
Oh,
ever
it is
see
a
one
hardball
again?
bowl. Yeah,
But yeah, that's back. But yeah, I was like,
I'm hoping Harbaugh loses.
nah, my money's on Harbaugh. But do you have any words for Detroit, Indianapolis?
Yeah, I think Detroit, Indianapolis. I think Detroit wins by like 2 touchdowns. I think Anthony Richardson made a jump against a bad Jets team. The Lions' defense is getting better and better. They're playing insufficient teams. The Colts are going to put up a few points, but I think the Lions' offense is just grooving right now. I don't see them losing. Like I don't see there's a chance losing.
Yeah, no, and I agree. Like, I do think the Lions are going to win. They're the hottest team in football right now. So they definitely have my pick.
Maybe they have the biggest trap game.
Will the Colts be considered a? I mean, any team worse than
Should
you, I
be.
guess, can be considered a trap game. But yeah, this could be a trap game with how dynamic Richardson is. Their run game could cause Lions a little bit of trouble, and it kind of just depends if Richardson and these receivers can give the Lions secondary enough trouble where they are strong at. Because if the Colts can win where the Lions are strongest at in that deep middle portion of the field, then they'll be able to take over everywhere else, or at least they should be able to take over
Yeah,
everywhere else. But when a football game includes Anthony Richardson, you never know what you're going to get.
I
So
agree. I think looking at like AD Mitchell, Anthony Richardson, they're boom or bust. I
yeah,
think talking about boom or bust. Let's talk about Chiefs Panthers, where I the Chiefs are
yeah,
really boomer. The Chiefs are really boomer bust, right?
not
Like
really. They're 9-1.
they're 9-1,
They're
but
nine
like
and one, and still arguably the best team in football.
they've won every close game.
That's what good teams do. That's what
You know what they remind
disciplined
me
teams
of?
do.
2020 Pittsburgh Steelers.
Not even close. It's just not even
I'm
close. If those two teams played right now, the Chiefs would whop the floor with them. Chiefs would destroy them. These teams are
probably yeah.
nowhere near. These teams are nowhere near alike because while sure the Chiefs get away with some close wins against bad teams, drop both those teams in January and let's see what happens.
I agree.
One is
I
led
agree.
by
That's
one
me
of the
there.
greatest offensive minds in NFL history, arguably the second greatest quarterback in NFL history. His trajectory will tell us whether he'll be the GOAT or not.
He had the Russell Wilson trajectory
It's not the same.
right now.
The recipe to beat the Steelers was always so evident. There's no recipe to beating the Chiefs. It's kind of just like you
Have
better
fun.
hope you have a freak on your side as well.
Go have
And
fun.
then yeah, like you better hope you have Josh Allen. You better hope you have some top tier quarterback who is willing to do the sick things that Patrick Mahomes is willing to do
You know what I
and
think the
go play
real
ball.
recipe to beat the Chiefs is? Don't turn the ball over. Take a long time of possession. And yeah, for Chris, Chris just joining us now, I think the real thing to do is to beat the Chiefs is don't turn the ball over. Have a long time possession and a good run game, and play stifling defense and force Mahomes to have these long drives where they kick field goals, especially with Harrison Butker out. I
I
think
mean,
if if that is the case, if you force Mahomes to drive 14 plays, 15 plays, and they have to settle for a fourth and long field goal, I think that is the key to beat the Chiefs, because not allowing Mahomes to finish drives, that is one thing that Mahomes does better than every person. He finishes drives. He finds Noah Gray in the end zone. He finds Kelsey on a little spot route. He finds someone, Nicole Hardman, on a little motion in and out to beat the Niners in Super Bowl in overtime. So I think that's really the key to beating the Chiefs if I'm the Panthers.
I mean, any football team could say that. Yeah, stop Mahomes from getting in the end zone. Probably the toughest thing in NFL history to do. Or keep control of the clock. They have one of the best run defenses in the NFL with Karlaftis and Chris Jones.
Yeah, Chris Jones is I believe
It's
number
not
one ranked,
exactly like
tackle
those are very cliche type of things, but it doesn't really work like that. Chris, what I was saying, how you beat the Chiefs is you better hope you have one of them throwing the ball for your team. Like Kansas City has Mahomes, you better hope you have Allen or Lamar or a insane Burrow or Jalen Hurts game. Jalen Hurts, best game of Jalen Hurts' career, still wasn't enough. Granted, his defense getting torn to shreds, but that's how the thing goes, man.
I think the game against the Giants was better when he threw 3 interceptions.
What are you talking about? No, it's crazy that he still could have won that game.
I know.
He still could have won that game.
It was Jalen Reagor and Quez Watkins' fault.
He hit. It wasn't Quez's fault. He hit Jalen Reagor in the hands twice, back-to-back plays from 40 yards out. He just dropped both. He just smacked him in the face mask.
Difference between replacing Jalen Reagor with AJ Brown does.
Seriously. But Chris, what we were talking about, we got on this topic because the Chiefs play the Panthers this week. And I'm going to throw an absolute heater at you, even though you first got here. How the Panthers winning this week?
Against the Chiefs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He laughed. Chris knows that's his hot take of the week.
Yeah, don't worry about it. This will be
No. Cool off my Panthers. Those are my Panthers, by the way.
Don't worry about it. I'll be picking them to win 17-10 against the Chiefs. No, but I don't know. I think what you said is probably most important. You got to have a guy on the other side. Now, I'm not gonna say you make Mahomes scary. That's not how NFL works. Not how professional sports work. But you got to have him think like, hey, I got to have somebody I got to compete with. I got to score this amount of points. You got to at least put the pressure on him, I would say. And unfortunately, although Bryce Young has looked a lot better, I don't think he's gonna make Mahomes be nervous about pressure, him or Xavier Leggett. But hey, Chuba Hubbard, I love him some Chuba Hubbard. But I think also too, their run defense being so good is what makes them really, really good. Because obviously you have Mahomes, you have a great offense because you have Andy Reid, Mahomes, and Kelsey. But then their defense being so good is what the real backbreaker is, I think, because it's like, even if you stop Mahomes, are you going to be able to score? Like, that's the worst part. And I think that's the part that kills, unless, even if you have a Josh or Lamar, because you see them, they won't look like themselves sometimes playing against that defense. So I think that's probably what I'm looking forward to be. The Panthers are cooked, brother. I think the Chiefs stars be out by the end of the third quarter.
Yeah, I'm very scared for what Chiefs defensive coordinator Spagliano is going to have for Bryce Young, because he's come back. He's looked a lot better than he has in these past 2 weeks. And the numbers won't even back it up. But we got football. It's just dropping off a dude's hands, and he's been playing some good ball, but he's about to go against one of the OG boogeymen of the NFL, and he might revert back to his old ways a little bit.
I just hope people don't overreact to it, though. Like, I hope they're not like, "Oh, Bryce Young, he can't do." Like, I hope that's not the idea.
I think what we'll probably walk away with this game is saying, like, okay, the Chiefs lost and now they're pissed. So, Panthers, you are like the number one candidate, like, to get bullied. So, but moving on, I did want to move on to this NFC North matchup of the Vikings-Bears. Vikings, who, after losing 2 straight, have now won 3 straight, kind of back to what they've been doing. And the Bears, now, great, this isn't an excuse. I kind of just want to throw the hypothetical out there. They are a Hail Mary and a blocked field goal away from being 6-4 and being right on the cusp of these playoffs. But they sit at 4-6 due to their self-inflicted wounds. Mind you, self-inflicted. They did this to themselves. And the Bears, like while the offense looked really good last week, and it's clearly like a different system, like they're getting Caleb involved in like many different ways, getting the ball out of his hands, letting him run the ball, a whole bunch of different stuff. I am banking that because it's a new system, that hopefully there's not enough film on said system to where you could catch Brian Flores off guard, but most of the time, if you're working on even footing, he's gonna have your number. So I'm really interested to see. Danny, I guess I'll go to you first. What are you looking forward to in this Vikings Bears matchup?
It's going to be like a AFC North type game. It's going to be 20-17, 17-14 type game. It's so evident. Both have solid defenses. Both have pretty mediocre offenses. When it comes down to looking at the Vikings offense this year, it's not great. I mean, they put up 23 against the Titans last week. They put up 12 against the Jaguars, 21 against the Colts, 20 against the Rams. Is that good? Against the Rams? I don't know. Their last good offensive output was a month ago to the day on 29 points against the Lions. So they haven't had anything that really blew you out of the water since that early Linsanity run, is what I'll say. And maybe that's coming back to reality. Maybe Darnold came out of gates hot. Come back to really who he is, Sam Darnold, which isn't a bad thing. I think Sam Darnold's playing fine. But
yeah, no, I absolutely agree. And I guess these last 3 weeks is kind of how I envision them to win football games truly. Like if they were going to win some games this year, it was probably going to be off the back of just Sam Darnold not turning the ball over, Brian Flores and the defense going to do their thing. But that early stuff, like you said, probably coming back down to earth a little bit. Maybe Sam Darnold is who we thought he was, and not, through 5 weeks, people are like, oh, well, no, he's, he just needed a coach. Look how like good he really is. And it's like, he can be a little aggressive, but, take it with a grain of salt. Chris, is there any like certain like player matchups you're looking, through this one, like Jalen Johnson versus Jefferson, or, Caleb going against the boogeyman and Brian Flores, anything to keep your eyes on there?
Really just Jets and Jalen Johnson, because I think Jalen Johnson's a really good corner. Really, really good actually. I mean, he says some stuff sometimes, but he just got paid. So I mean, I get it.
Spoke of my demon.
I get it. But I think Jalen Johnson's really good. I think he's probably, this may be a stretch, like top 5, top 7, especially with Sauce not being as good this year. I think he'd be in that range. So I'm excited to see him against Jets. Just because I think Jettis raises his game when he sees another guy across from him that's supposed to be really good or like, ranked pretty good. So I'm excited to see that. But also I'm excited to see Jordan Addison and TJ Hockenson, like kind of how they take up the space that Jettis occupies, if that makes sense. Because I know Jettis will get a lot of eyes. So I want to see Hockenson and Addison eat. Kind of like Addison ate last week, in that sense. I like the Vikings offense as a whole too. Aaron Jones, I think, makes them really, really good. He kind of gives you that Saquon Bijan where he can catch, run, do a little bit of both out of backfield, which helps Sam Darnold. So I was looking forward to. I think the Vikings should win this game kind of handily. So I'm looking forward to just them kind of dominating. Might not be the right word, but I think they should, like I said, win it kind of handily. So I'm looking forward to just kind of stars coming out.
Yeah. I would say I don't have much to add there. Again, what I really want to see is hopefully this Bears offense grows a little bit more. I mean, this is going to be their toughest test at this point. But, I've said for the past couple of weeks that this was kind of like a must win for the Bears, and they didn't win. So now they kind of find themselves a little bit too far on the outside for my liking. Other 1:00 game where I don't really have much to say about it. And I don't like to be that guy where like, oh, this team needs a perfect game. I kind of feel like the Texans need to like go out there and handle the Titans, but at the same time, it's the division matchup. It's probably not going to happen. But if a team could use a very inspiring performance right now, I think it would be Houston. They got Nico Collins back, and the scoreboard doesn't even indicate that Dallas game. Like through 3 quarters, people were like, "What is up with CJ Stroud?" And, I don't think there's anything wrong with him. I just think there's film on him a little bit, and you either get found out in this league or you figure it out in this league. And I think Stroud's going to be fine. One of the 10 best quarterbacks in football already. So I think he'll be fine there. We got like Bucks Giants, like Tommy DeVito's making his welcome back into the starting lineup.
Better than Daniel
the
Jones,
Bucs-
by the way. Better than Daniel Jones.
we clears that bum. Like Evans is questionable with a hamstring, but I expect the Bucks to win this game. I don't know. Maybe the Italian Mafia will be out for Tampa Bay. Patriots Dolphins. I mean, last time they played, I believe Brissett played that game. It was like Brissett and former Pro Bowl quarterback Tyler Huntley. But now we have Tua back, and it's Drake May in Miami. Not going to be cold. It's going to be hot. They're going to be slinging that ball. Who would ever thought I'd be excited for a 3-7 versus 4-6 matchup? But here we are. Now Drake May has put on some pretty stellar performances that all include the dumbest interception you'll ever see in your life. So you're really flexing that Josh Allen comp.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I will say, Drake May is probably, before Bo Nix, he put up some of the best rookie quarterback performances out. Like him and Jaden Daniels should be the favorites for Rookie of the Year at this point. Like coming into the position he came into where the Patriots looked like they had no offense, he's just brought another level. Like what he brings to the table is so far and beyond like the Patriots. The Patriots stink.
Yeah, no, for sure. The offense that offense really it truly does not have any level of juice. And Drake May's just creation ability, like even with the bad line, he's a lot more mobile than Brissett is. The arm is a lot stronger. He can push the ball down the field a lot better. Yeah, I mean, as of right now, if we're talking about just straight EPA per play, I believe, let's say we got Drake May is 23rd, but I don't think that's directly an indictment on his part. It's still, I mean, we're talking like it's in the same realm as like CJ Stroud, Bo Nix, Dak Prescott, Aaron Rodgers type of thing. And for a rookie, for May and Nix, that's not bad company to be in. But again, it's things that you kind of like can't see. It's the creativity. It's, the strength that, hang in the pocket and deliver the deep ball. I guess it's really just a matter of cutting back on these turnovers. But I think the Patriots can win this game. I thought, there are a few corners who do a good job with Tyreek Hill in this league, and Christian Gonzalez is one of them. So I think the combination of that, and then I kind of think the playmaking of Drake May is going to be huge in this one. So Chris,
Christian Gonzalez got cooked by two white boys, though. I guess one's not white, but
what are we talking? What game are you talking about?
The Rams.
The Rams? No, yeah. Oh, God forbid. Like, they're not easy, and he don't really. Did he travel with either of them?
All right, he got cooked on a route by Mr. Cooper.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
That happens to the best of them.
Yeah,
not Quinyon Mitchell though.
Yeah, I was saying unless you're Quinyon Mitchell, but we'll talk more about the Eagles later. That's going to be one of my favorite.
We'll find that out this week.
Chris, you have any words on New England versus Miami?
Not any positive words. Don't really. I'm just kidding. I want to see a Tyreek Hill game, dude. Like, I want to see him go off, but then, of course, he has to go against Christian Gonzalez. So I don't know if that's going to happen. He might. But that's what I want to see. I haven't seen a big Tyreek Hill game this year, and I don't think he's washed. I don't think so. And I want to see him go out there and have a big day, a really, really big day. Just the Dolphins as a whole, because like last year, Dolphins was so electric, and it's just like they have no electricity now, like zero. Still got the speed, but no electricity. I just want to see them have a big day. So I'm looking forward to Tyreek balling out, especially against Chris Gonzalez at this point, because then it's like a double big day. You go good against a good corner, and then you have a big game. I'm thinking like a 6-catch, 121 TD. That's what I'm hoping for from Tyreek.
4 o'clock window has Broncos Raiders. Broncos should take care of business if they are the playoff contender that they're hoping to be. We do have a divisional round rematch. 5-5 49ers, 7-3 Packers. Packers, I believe, are 4-5 in their last 5. The Niners have dropped. I don't even know if the Niners have not won back-to-back games all year. They won week 1, lost 2 straight, 1-1, lost 1, 1-1, lost 1, 1-1. Oh, they did have back-to-back wins. Yeah, they did. I lied. And it was fairly recent. But granted, the inconsistency is still very much there. Danny, what do you want to see from the 49ers coming off a heartbreaking loss at home to Seattle? They have to go to Green Bay against a hot Packers team.
Yeah.
What's their key to
I think-
success?
What do you want to see from the 49ers? You want to see them play 49ers football. What I mean by that is you want to run the ball, get the ball in Christian McCaffrey's hands. You want to get the ball out of Brock Purdy's hands fast. And you want to understand what teams are doing to Brock Purdy. Teams have realized that Shanahan has built in hot routes to every single play. Basically, when you blitz, he says, "Oh, let's check right, and we're gonna throw a hot route." He doesn't let Purdy audible at the line, which is causing issues because you know what they're doing. They're bluffing the right side, blitzing off the left. Now, when the person backs into coverage, your hot route's beat and you're blitzed, so you have to throw it back to the other side. By the time you look, there's a guy in your face. And this has happened to them multiple times. It happened in the Super Bowl with Trent McDuffie getting his hands up when he on the blitz. This happened last week with McDonald drawing up something similar. I think what it's coming down to is this. Shanahan is not being quote unquote figured out, but he needs to innovate. Football is a lot about being figured out and countering. It's punch counter punch. So can they figure out a counter punch? And last year the Eagles couldn't. I'm not trying to throw a stray, but like it's looking at teams that kind of got figured out. The Eagles got figured out last year down the stretch. They teams were blitzing Hurts. The Eagles couldn't pick it up, and there's a bunch of reasons the Eagles were bad. But it's really concerning me for the Niners. And with their schedule down the stretch, I think they're a huge candidate to miss the playoffs.
Yeah, I have to agree. I definitely agree on like the Kyle Shanahan will never I know this isn't exactly what you meant, but I'm kind of just like prefacing basically, building off what you said. It's like Kyle Shanahan, you've never been figured out, and you probably will never be figured out because you're a constant grower of the game. Kyle Shanahan, you're the first person I've ever seen run an inside zone, but you toss the ball first. Like that alone will get people stretched to the outside, and the whole time you're just running it between the tackles. So I agree. Kyle Shanahan needs to, add another element to his game against a Packers defense that's way better than the one that kind of had your number last January. Like the Packers defense did a pretty good job for a majority of that game. And it's just a matter of Jordan Love being an absolute moron, which that'll have me swing it to Chris. The 7-3 Packers, Jordan Love's playing good football. Defense is looking good. Now, what can they do to prevent what can they do to flip the tide of what was their loss in the divisional round?
I hate that I have to answer this because I think the 49ers about to spank the Packers only for a simple fact. I think they're a better team. But I will say this. I think what the Packers have to do is play good football in the sense of not giving the 49ers a lot of chances, in the sense of can't do 2-3 turnovers. Like because if the 49ers offense don't get going, you can't give them chances to get it right. Because like you said, at some point Shanahan's going to figure it out, in my opinion. I think so. And the more chance you give them to do so with the weapons that they still have, regardless of how much of a down season Debo's having, missing Ayuk, they still got McCaffrey. Hopefully Kill's back. And you still have Juwan Jennings is a baller for sure. So I think at that point, I think they need to play sound football. And I think if they do that, then they can beat the 49ers not pretty easily, but they should be able to beat them. But I think that's going to be the main deal. Jordan Love not making mistakes, not having like fumbles and things like that. Just mistake-free football will get them this win. I think that's kind of what it boils down to.
Yeah, I agree. And of course, easier said than done when it comes to Jordan Love pre-December, is it Toyota-thon yet? I'm not exactly sure, but he goes hand in hand with that. He is insane lore already as a 25, 26-year-old. But yeah, I'll say I definitely agree. I'm probably going to go Pack in this one. They're home. They're hot. Niners, little banged up, not looking good. I expect the Packers to feed Josh Jacobs and build off of what worked in the divisional round, which, I mean, Jordan Love was kind of like in his absolute element, like peaking at that point after whooping the Cowboys. But I expect Jordan Love to have a pretty good game, pretty just solid, performance along with Josh Jacobs kind of doing the heavy load, and then the defense, you know, kind of what Danny said, if Shanahan refuses to develop one more aspect of the offense, then I think teams are just gonna, eventually catch up. So I got the Pack in this one. Moving on to the other 4:00 game, it's the 5-5 Seahawks coming off their electric win at the Niners, like I said earlier, against the Cardinals, riding a 4-game win streak. If the Cardinals win, I'll say everyone else is 5-5, so to kind of include the Niners losing and the Rams losing. But if the Cardinals have a real chance to get a good grasp on this division lead, which, a couple of weeks ago, me and Danny were kind of like, oh, this is awesome. Like, we thought the Cardinals would be, at least a solid, good offense, bad defense type of team. But now they're looking at a real shot to get a hold on this division with only so many weeks left. A 2-game lead on this division with about 6-7 weeks of football to play could be huge. Also considering they are undefeated. They're undefeated within the division, if I'm not mistaken. And some other teams don't have a division win, like the 49ers. But in this matchup, I'll go to Chris first. What are you looking forward to in this Cardinals Seahawks one, and who do you got?
I'm looking forward to a little bit of what you said. It's the Kyler Murray day, Kyler Murray show today. Kyler Murray is today. Today, well, not today, but this day will be the day you take a bigger lead on your division, and also you creep up into that. Everybody has you in the top 10 conversation. I'm expecting him to ball out. I want to see him hook up with Marvin Harrison. I love what James Conner does on the ground for the Cardinals. And they have a lot of weapons low key. Not a lot. They have a good amount of weapons low key that I didn't even think about. Trey McBride's a beast. I'm looking for them to ball out. I don't think the Seahawks are that good outside of JSN.
That's crazy.
And Kenneth Walker. That's just me.
You like DK?
No, I was going to get down the list. I would say DK, Kenneth Walker, and Jackson. But I think the main
that's 3 of 11.
Bob said the main part is the person
3 of 11.
The main part giving it to him is the problem. I think Gino's starting to write back very, very much in cursive almost. So I'm thinking that's been more my issue. But as far as the game goes, I think the Cardinals are going to win. But I think it's going to be a good game, though. I think it's going to be really good. I think the Seahawks need another win, too. Just coming off a good victory that they just had. But I'm looking forward to be a good game. But I think the Cardinals pull it out.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Since COD came out, Kyler Murray's undefeated, by the way. So any of that Kyler Murray hop on COD, yeah, beat. Come on, get it out of here.
You're the one that brought it up.
No, I'm saying he's undefeated since he came out.
That's kind of like the joke with him. Like, he's good on double XP weekends and.
Oh, I thought the joke was he was bad when Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So
that's what I thought. Oh, I'm missing the whole thing. Oh shit!
I don't know. It could be both, but God forbid a man has hobbies, right?
That's what I'm saying, right? Like,
he's just a chill guy, Likes to play video games with his friends.
Bro, they don't want their football players to podcast. They don't want them to have any fun outside of. What do you want them to do besides Sunday, Monday?
They're literally just chill guys, man. But yeah, I would say I expect kind of a lot of the same thing, Cardinals to pick up with, Trey McBride looking like one of the best tight ends in the NFL, if not the best tight end in the NFL. Marvin Harrison starting to build up some chemistry with Kyler Murray. I think we're still waiting on the ultra explosive game from him that at least I've been expecting. And then this defense continues just to play above expectations. Now, I don't necessarily know how they're going to handle this red hot JSN, allegedly, who's starting to find his way in this system alongside DK and Tyler Lockett. I think we'll see. This could probably be the biggest shootout I think the Cardinals are going to have to get into. Every time they put up big points, it's been in whoopings. The Cardinals are probably going to have to find a way to repeatedly respond to the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are going to put up points. It's all about Kyler Murray. We might have you drop back 35, 40 times. How are you going to as good as James Conner is, we can't rely on him if we get into a shootout. So how are you going to react? I think he'll respond, accordingly. And I think Kyler Murray gets this win. And yeah, like Chris said, it's glad to see that everybody's starting to, flood him back into their top 10s, because before he got hurt, like, he was in some really, really good combos. And I think we're starting to get back there. I don't know if we're back in those Lamar combos. That's a little much, but we're back in those top 7, top 8 type talks at K1 FC. Now moving on to the Sunday night game, Eagles Rams, and this is kind of like the headline of the episode. The funny thing with Quinion Mitchell, or I guess Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, is Quinion Mitchell, he's every elite receiver we've gone against, their outside receivers. Jamar Chase, Terry McLaurin, Christian Watson, who had a really good game. I'm not going to call him elite, but he's good. They've all been matched up with Quinion for the most part. Not only does Cooper DeJean have to face Puka all game, but he's also going to have to face Cooper Kupp all game. These are two arguably the best dudes out of the slot in the entire NFL. So, yeah, now, of course, you don't have to guard both at once. That's not what I'm saying. But it's like on every single rep, you are getting someone's absolute best in Puka, who y'all know how I feel about him. And then Cooper Kupp, who clearly still got it. Danny, I want to go to you first. What do the Eagles secondary or Eagles defense in totality have to do to essentially keep their ground? They've been arguably the best defense in the NFL since the bye week. The Rams can give you 30 any given night if they figure it out. What do the Eagles have to do to stand their ground?
I'm going to tell you this. I don't think it's more in the secondary. I think it's more in the D-line.
Defense in totality.
Yeah, I think putting pressure on Stafford and it's going to come down to two things. Put pressure on Stafford, make him get the ball out quick, and then wrap up and tackle. Because these guys, Kupp, when Stafford gets the ball out quick, Kupp and Puka can just break a tackle and break one off for 20, 30, 40 yards. And that kills you. Because chunk plays are really when you think Cooper Kupp and think Puka Nacua, you don't be like, chunk plays aren't really. No, I mean, these guys will take one off the top. So,
yeah.
I think that's what you really need to realize. Limit the chunk plays, wrap up and tackle. Big game for Bond and Kobe Dean. So I think that's the 3 keys to victory. And for the Rams side, you need to go out there and just put up 35 points to win the game, because the Eagles are going to put up 30 on your defense. Malata on first is going to be a good matchup, but the Eagles are for certain putting up 30 points. And I think having Saquon Barkley just run all over a poor Rams defense, as worse as it's been, it's just in the cards this week.
Yeah. Chris, I'll say, outside of what Danny said, you're just going to have to score 35. Or is there any specifics you believe that the Rams can do to beat the Eagles and stay in this race for the NFC West title?
I think it's one thing and one thing only. I think the Rams playmakers have to outplay the Eagles ones, which is a tough task. But Kyron, Puka, and Koopa, my favorite rhyming thing I've been doing recently, they have to outdo Devontae, AJ, Saquon. And I don't know if it's going to be that, but I think those 3 are going to have to outproduce the other 3. But the other side of that is that the Eagles do have Jalen Hurts, who can use his feet to make himself even more of a weapon as well. So I think that's going to be the key, though, for the Rams. I think the Rams their star is going to have to outshine theirs, and they're going to have to get either a Tutu Atwell, DeMarcus Robinson, somebody they're going to have somebody like that have a couple big plays as well. I think a couple teams have to go their way for them to win, because I think the Eagles are just a better team, especially right now. So I think those teams have to go their way for them to be able to pull out a victory. Can't settle for field goals too. That's one. And I know that goes along with scoring a lot of points, but can't settle for field goals. I think that's the biggest thing too.
Don't mind if I do. I need DeMarcus or or Rashad Bateman to go off on Monday night. So I gotta decide which one I'm starting in fantasy because Amari Cooper's on bye.
I wouldn't start anyone against the Chargers defense necessarily.
Rashad Bateman on the way though.
Yeah. We'll do a whole Monday Night Football preview on the next episode because that kind of needs like its own like really good chunk of time. Like we're talking about Harbaugh Bowl,
The Harbaugh.
the Harbaugh
QB2 Bowl.
QB2 Bowl. Nah, we won't do all that. but yeah, I mean that's pretty much all the games we're gonna recap for now. But episode's not just over yet. We do have to do our hots and locks, of course. Does anybody want to start specifically, or are you guys openly giving me the first picks again?
Well, I suck at these obviously, so I need to go last.
Yeah, well, you did end up getting a point. The Texans did get their win, so
I'll start.
Go ahead.
Call me crazy. Give me the Dallas
Well,
Cowboys
hot takes for.
over the Washington Commanders this week.
Now,
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Crazy.
While it is a hot take, so like, of course, you know, Washington is 10.5-point favorites.
Well, they could cover the spread, maybe.
That has to be, I think, the largest line Washington has had over Dallas, like in my lifetime. So Danny has the commies for his hot. What's your lock for the week?
Commies losing.
I mean, you have the Cowboys over the commies. My bad. It's so bizarre. I thought that was a lock.
My lock is the Broncos over the Raiders.
That's a good pick.
I think they're starting to play good football. Bo Nix is turning it around. I think they could backdoor a playoff spot. And dare I say, I think the Broncos make the playoffs more than the Bengals.
Okay. I mean, at this point, it's definitely possible. Favorable schedule. They won their games. So I did want to point out there the Seahawks are 0.5-point favorites against the Cardinals. And I was gonna be petty and make the Cardinals my hot, but like they're not really dogs. So
I do want to point out the Broncos play the Bengals in Cincinnati on December 29th. Could be for a playoff spot.
We're both.
That'd be a good one.
I'm believing we will be there. Chris, did you want to go next, or do you want me to go?
Well, I can go next. I have some trash for y'all, so don't worry about it. Close your ears. No,
Go ahead.
That's a kid. Okay, well, it might be trash actually. I want to put some bad juju on the Steelers so bad and pick the Jameis Winston led Browns, but I don't want to be a fool and waste a pick. So I'm going to waste a pick on the other side. The Titans will beat the Texans. That is my hot.
Okay. I would say I'm not even mad at that one. Before you got here, we were talking about, or actually, I think you were here. Well, I'm talking about like if anybody needs like a good game, it's the Texans. So,
and that's why I think this is the hot for the Titans to win, because just because they need it, you know how universe works. You need something, you don't get it. So that in that way, Titans win that game. And then my lock, I was in between like two. But I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna lock the 49ers over the Packers. I feel good about the 49ers this weekend. I think it's maybe because I've grown to be more a Brock Purdy fan than a hater. I'm not saying he's just top 10 or anything like that, but I do like I like Brock Purdy as a quarterback, and I think as McCaffrey gets more reps, not that he never played his offense before, just as he gets more reps and stuff, I think they'll be better to even keep their playoff hopes alive for real. So yeah, I'll take the 49ers. My lock.
While the Panthers, while the Panthers were two of my last three successful hots, I can't do that this week. I will be back to them after this Chiefs game. My hot this week is going to be the Bears over the Vikings. They are 3.5-point underdogs. I'm glad. I'm really excited to see Caleb Williams in the second week of this true offense, where it's making things a lot easier for him. So that's going to be my hot, and then my lock is going to be the Buccaneers over the Giants, and maybe that's a bad one. I already said it. I can't backpedal, but now I'm really worried about the Italian mafia juju that Tommy DeVito carries on with him all the time. But I have faith that Mike Evans will be back and ready to handle the Giants. But that's everything from us today. I want to remind you guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. If you're listening to this on audio platforms, leave a like, 5-star review, comment if you can, download if you really enjoy that episode. Again, we didn't talk about Monday Night Football, Chargers, Ravens. We will be talking about that on our Monday episode, which we'll record Sunday night. We will talk about it. Do not fret.
Yeah, big
We
shout out
wouldn't,
to
we wouldn't be a NFL podcast if we did not talk about this game. So do not fear. It will have its own segment the next time you see us. But AP New Freezer, Culture by Migos, DC Comics. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys on Monday.
shout out to Dan Cole, birthday to 51st.